We are live. We are live. Let's give it a second, get some people in here and see how everybody's doing. Hope everybody is having a good Sunday evening, night. Want to know, it's been a little while, see what everybody been up to. We got a few things to discuss tonight. If you're watching this, be sure to share this up, tag somebody that needs to watch it. Hope everybody's doing good. What's up, Last Breath Studios? Hope you guys are doing good. What's everybody been up to this weekend? What have you guys been watching? What have you guys been doing? I mean, it's a lot of stuff we could talk about. Lewis says, how's it going, Sarge? It's going good. It's going real good. A little frustrated, you know. I think a lot of you guys is frustrated. Daniel says, we are live. We are live. Howdy, Sarge. Howdy, Daniel. Currently in the woods with my pup. Liz says, howdy. Last Breath Studio says, I've been watching The Big Lebowski. IDW Fields, what's up, Sarge? What's up, IDW Dorman? Mark says, hi. John says, pig clowns, question mark. Who better to talk horror with than a pig clown? I mean, come on now. Jay says, like to know what your thoughts are about the new Conjuring. Oh, my goodness. Woo! Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Kevin Tate says, hey, Sarge, hope you're doing well. Missed you. Missed y'all guys, too. I've been out working on some projects, doing some things. Hi, Sarge, watching Friday the 13th and Wheeling and Dealing. I missed you. I missed you, too, Vicky. I need you guys to share this up. I wish Mad Monster Party event Michelle Rodriguez. Toy collecting and rewatching Salem's Lot again. Reboot coming. I mean, it's ridiculous what has been going on in the horror community. He asked me about The Conjuring 3. Let's talk about The Conjuring 3. Let's get her done. I like The Conjuring 3, to be honest with you. It was, what do you expect, a Conjuring movie? I mean, it ain't like it was a slasher. It was a possession movie. My thoughts on it was that I didn't like that stupid contortion thing. I mean, it was cool the first time they did it, but the next time they did it with that CGI, you know, it's clearly CGI. Y'all had $40 million, and that's what Hollywood $40 million horror movies look like. They made us wait a year on it, and they put it out there, and it's bubblegum horror. I hope some young kid watches it and then, like, I like horror, and then starts watching real horror movies. But I mean, it was fairly decent, you know. It was fairly decent. I mean, but it wasn't nothing to write home about. Last Breath said, do you watch Joe Bob Briggs? I don't watch Joe Bob. He don't entertain me like he does some of you guys, you know. I mean, I ain't got nothing against him. I just don't watch him. Amanda says, same here. Vicky says, get her done. Yeah, a lot of people are excited about the July 4th weekend. Y'all gonna come hang out with me and party in Arizona. That's cool. Says my birthday's coming. Can she get a shout out? Yeah, just tell me what's your name. When is Freddie? Yeah, okay. Haven't seen yet. Y'all guys gonna ask me about whoever's coming to the con here or there? Nah, we're here to talk horror and horror movies. I mean, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the convention stuff, but I really, you know, it is what it is. They show up, or whoever shows up, it is what it is. Jennifer says it was beautiful to meet you in NC. Thanks for a wonderful chat about the military. It was beautiful meeting you too, and it's always nice to talk to active duty service people, whether they are in the Marines or not. I'm partial to the Marines, but I'm not going to give the Navy a hard time because I spent about 2 years on the Navy, a year and a half on a ship. You know, they take us around everywhere when I was in. You know. IDW said, I heard you know something about a project called Bossum. I got a couple of projects. That's one of them. Executive produced a project with Kane Hodder that'll be coming out in October. It's one of them paranormal joints. Y'all might have heard about it. There's a clown flick coming out July 5th called Behind the Sightings that some friends of mine did. I liked. Amanda said, I liked it, but the second one was my favorite, talking about The Conjuring. Fast and the Furious new movie. I can't get into those no more since that guy died in that Porsche wreck. They just ain't the same. And I don't think they're making those Fast and Furiouses for us. They're making them for the Chinese audience, because I don't know if y'all saw John Cena, but he said something about Taiwan being an independent country. China got mad at him and got all political and stuff and had to apologize, because that's who Hollywood's banking on, making the Fast and the Furious movies successful. Excited for the new Halloween? Nope. I'm excited. I'll be excited when... Let me just get this person on out here. Boo. There's a lot of good horror this October. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Chucky TV, and Candyman. All reboots. And I got some news for y'all about y'all. I mean, I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but that one's just going to be sorry. They're going to do a 60-year-old Leatherface. It's a direct sequel to the original. It is going to be two ladies that are in the lead. One's going to be in a wheelchair, kind of just copying from the first one, making it Franklin. I mean, they did a horrible job with Leatherface. I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy. It's like, why don't they give us a new character? Why don't they give us something new? Stop rebooting stuff. But I know why they keep rebooting it, because everybody will buy it. If they put Leatherface in it, somebody going to buy it. They put Michael Myers in it, somebody going to buy it. They just go give you the same stuff as long as you buy the same stuff. So my husband and I are celebrating our 3rd year anniversary on the 16th. Philip and Vicky, well, happy anniversary to you, Philip and Vicky. Hope y'all have many, 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 many more. Says, are you coming back to Charlotte, NC, man? I'm coming to every one of them till the cows come home, man. That's the only one I go to. I don't hop around to these other ones. You don't see me. When the SARS does something, I do it with the best of 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 the best, just like Will Smith said in that movie with them alien things in it. You know, Mad Monster all the way, man. There are a lot of horror remakes coming up. Exorcist, Christine, etc. Eddie, your interest? No, I am tired of the studios remaking our classics. Why are you remaking Christine? I mean, come on now. Did not John Carpenter do good? No, what happens is the rights came back up and people want money. So it's all a cash grab. It is a Hollywood cash grab to take advantage of the horror community, because we are the last ones in the communities out there, fans, that will buy and support a horror movie. But this is what we've been doing. We get a horror movie we're looking forward to. Then it comes out. You remember everybody was talking about the Twilight Zone. Jordan Peele's doing Twilight Zone. It's going to be the greatest thing in sliced bread. It comes out. It's nowhere near as good as the original Rod Serling one. And we don't talk about it. We don't hold them accountable for making crappy movies. We just forgive them. And then we go on to the next character that they hold in front of us. This new Michael Myers, it ain't going to be what you think it's going to be. They filmed it down here in North Carolina, a couple hours away from me. I got some people that saw it on set. They trying to, make it look good, but it ain't going to be as good as you think it's going to be. Christine, there ain't no way you could do Christine the way it is, Let me see. Vicky says, interesting new stuff coming out. What about Rob Zombie in the new Monsters movie? We'll talk about that in a second. Rich says, you are spot on with the Chinese. Yeah. Liz says, Rob needs to stop. Ace says, I look forward to returning to Mad Monster this summer. Let me tell you something, man. Y'all be sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube, turn on the notifications. We've been brewing some craziness. Mark says, I met John Cena at Fan Fest. Yeah, he was on the Chinese social media apologizing. Lewis says, wife's name is Gina, June 15th, just a couple days from now. Gina, happy birthday to you. Big shout out, happy birthday to Gina. She turned 21. You get a legal drink. Adam says hi. Hi, Adam. At least the Chucky series isn't a reboot. It's just a continuation of the movies. Hope so. That last Chucky movie was horrible. You know. I mean, it was horrible. My tablet is acting up. It goes up and down sometimes. I'm sorry to hear that. Vicky says, thank you so much. Thank you. Man, I wish they would stop as well. It breaks my heart to see these beautiful characters reworked like the newest Chucky was a joke. Yeah, Chucky, the whole thing with Chucky was, something possessed the doll. It wasn't like artificial intelligence gone wrong. I mean, just because you have new technology and can remake something doesn't mean you should remake it. How about let's focusing on new stuff? How about let's focusing on creating the next Jason or Freddy Krueger or the next, something big to give us, entertain us. I mean, do you guys feel like me that you turn on Netflix, you turn on Amazon Prime, Hulu, the 100 million streaming channels that's out there, and it's nothing good to watch? It is so hard to find a good horror movie to watch. It is so hard. I mean, even on Shudder. I mean, it's like I see stuff coming out from these so-called horror websites, from these so-called big-time horror guys, and it's just horrible. It's horrible horror. And I know there's a market for bad horror, but hey, we don't need to talk about it. We don't need the same stuff. Exorcist remake, really? Yep, that's going to be horrible. Zombies making the monsters. Yep. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Why? That's all I got to say. I understand that Rob is a fan of the monsters, and I wish Rob well. I love Rob. I'm shooting a YouTube video on this. We're going to talk about this and break it down in detail. But you know what Rob's going to give you. Rob's going to give you the cast from 3 from Hell and the monsters. That's all he's going to give you. That's all you're going to get. Sharon Moon Zombie's going to be the lead. You're going to get probably Bill Moseley. You're going to probably get Richard, what's his break. You're going to get the same actors in all of them right back again. Because he just does the same thing. Now, if Hollywood was smart, before they would put some reins on Rob and give him some supervision, I think he could make a good horror movie. But the monsters, I mean, I don't even know if that's even something that should be touched. They tried to touch it before. I mean, Mockingbird Lane, when they did that, the thing, and the monsters today, that was horrible. The monsters is a classic. You just don't touch the classics like that, I'm coming up here. Y'all leaving some great comments. I appreciate them. Best Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel. Mine is 3. 3 is mine too. No offense against the guys in part 2, but I just didn't like all the comedy. Pieces was in the other day, was a great 80s slasher. Whenever we're going to talk about present day great slashers, because there ain't none. There ain't none out there. It's hard for the indie filmmakers. Like, you look at all the classics came from independent filmmakers, and it's hard for an independent filmmaker out there now. Walmart ain't selling DVDs like they used to. People ain't buying DVDs like they used to. If they are buying DVDs, they're buying the same crap that Hollywood is putting out and rebranding. How many of the Friday the 13th box sets, steel books, and all that do I need? I don't. I got it on VHS, and I'll watch it on that. It takes money to make money and more money to get good horror. I agree. Started watch Murder House Flip. Sad that I had to turn true crime to get a spook. Yep, true crime is where it's at. Have you seen the movie Shudder called Mandy? I love it. Yeah, that's that whole Nick Cage done going on this thing where every movie he's spazzing out and getting violent and stuff, you know. It is what it is. The Exorcist TV show was pretty good, but they canceled that. Yeah, they canceled stuff that is good, like Mindhunters was good, and Netflix canceled that. What a bunch of idiots. You know. Have you seen Ravenous? Yep. Ravenous is a good one. Let's see. I know John says new generation exposure to the monsters. That's fine, but you ain't going to get the monsters. You are going to get the redneck monsters. Case in point, Halloween. The biggest thing about Michael Myers was that it was a middle class family, that nothing happened wrong to a child, should grow up and be happy and live ever after. Dressed up like a clown, went crazy and stabbed up the whole family. And that's the story of Michael Myers, a regular kid that could be the kid sitting next to your kid in school, just went crazy and stabbed him up. Give it to Rob Zombie, he gonna redneck them up, and ain't nothing wrong with no rednecks. I like rednecks. I like country stuff, but there's a time and a place for it all. He's gonna redneck them monsters up. It's gonna be like the Beverly Hillbillies meets Three from Hell, and that's gonna be the monsters. Because nobody supervises Rob when he's making a movie. He needs adult supervision, and he needs a new cast. We don't want. Do you guys want Three from Hell as the monsters? Do you want that same cast in the monsters? Amanda says no Sherry Moon Zombie as Lily. You know, they need to ditch CG technology, go back to old school practical psychological flocks instead of spoon-fed flicks. I agree. And you said new generation exposure to the monsters. That new generation liable to try to cancel them. They get offended by them. Daniel says, what's your space station movie choice? I'd have to go with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one. Dennis Hopper in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 was genius. It was genius for horror comedy, but I like that franchise as just something spooky. And they should have gave Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot to Rob. If there was ever a story that should be directed by Rob Zombie, that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Says, what was the clown movie you talking about, Sarge? It's a movie called Behind the Sightings. You can go to behindthesightings.com. Think of it like a Blair Witch with clowns is what I kind of call it. You know. Remakes, sequels, and origins. We still have horror, and that's okay. That's right, but we need to demand more, and we need to demand better. I mean, because if the only thing you do is remake, the next generation of John Carpenters and James Wan's and all of them don't stand a chance of breaking through and making something that we can all have access to, you know? Halloween does not need any more sequels. Horror needs more original ideas. I agree with you, Chris. You think Rob Zombie's going to tell his wife she can't be in his project? Nope, she's going to be Lily. I guarantee she's going to be in the monsters. And he's going to use the same people. And I don't understand why they allowing him to do this unless maybe he's just going to shoot it black and white. I mean, because the original monsters were produced by the same people. I could be mistaken. I think it was the same people that did Leave It to Beaver. So it was like a comedy spoof. I mean, I would feel more comfortable if Rob was doing a cartoon version of the monsters. I think that would be cool because I like Rob's cartoon he did. Fortunately, we have to keep going back to let them make the remakes. They're going to do it with or without us. take solace in the ideas that you got to see the first incarnation. They're not going to make it without us. They're not going to remake all the movies without us. If you let them put out Halloween and you kept your butt at home and didn't go see it that weekend, I guarantee you in 2 weeks it's going to drop on VOD and they're just going to ditch it and move on to the next thing. They already made us wait a year on this daggone thing when they could have dropped it last year at Halloween on VOD. Rob really needs to stop putting his wife in everything. He is going to do that. He's like Adam Sandler using the same cast. It worked for Adam, though, but it doesn't work for that. What about Johnny Depp and the Addams family? I think leave the Addams family alone. Leave the monsters alone. Let's find something new. I mean, let's. If Ryan says yes, they are going to make them with or without you because there's always another generation coming up behind us who haven't seen the ones we grew up with. That's your opinion, and I respect it, but let them not make no money off of it. They ain't going to make it. Because you see, Millennium had the option to make another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie after they made Leatherface, but they messed it up so bad that they let the rights go back. So, you know, it's just like everything else. It's if you don't purchase it, they ain't gonna be a big push for it. Yeah, you got new people that might be like, oh, but you know, I don't know. Maybe our generation, it takes more to scare us and we like better horror. And maybe this new generation gets scared by that stuff. I don't know. I don't think nobody gets scared on some of this stuff that's putting out. Let's make the new Michael, Jason, or Freddy. Does anyone have an original idea? I got a bunch of them in here. I realize your feelings towards reboots, but if you could remake any horror movie, what would it be? I wouldn't. I'd make an original. An original. Amanda says my favorite one is the one with Jessica Biel in it. Jessica Biel is a good one. I'd love to see more scary. Are You Afraid of the Dark? I really like the Dawn of the Dead remake. Let me ask y'all this. What new original horror movie have you watched that you'd be like, wow, that was great? And then the other thing nobody's brought up, what you guys think of Spiral? That was in the box office 1 week and then out the next. You know? That was in 1 week and right out the next, man. I watched it. I kind of, you know, it felt like a Saw. It looked like a Saw, but the script wasn't what it needed to be. They didn't let Marcus Dunstan write on the script. And I think that kind of hurt it. It was easy to figure out. But, I mean, it looked good. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson in a horror movie, how do you not like that? The last episode of Lucifer is really good. Yeah, a lot of people love Lucifer. IDW says, tell us more about Balsam. Balsam's a friend of mine took Kane Hodder ghost hunting. Did a paranormal investigation. Like I said, that'll be out in October. Says, I'm going to binge watch Saw, then watch Spiral. Saw was horrible, and as for original horror in the last few weeks, I'd say A Quiet Place. I cannot stand A Quiet Place. I couldn't stand it. It's like, shh, y'all don't talk. The monsters go crazy over noise. I mean, that's that guy that was in The Office that made those. I just couldn't get into them. But I mean, I'm glad you guys did. Man, this Quiet Place is awful. OMG. Human Centipede. That's old. When did Human Centipede coming out? I'm talking about something came out in the last year or two. We have a show we watch on Saturday nights. Finguli is the host. He shows old black and white horror shows. Finguli. Legend. Dr. Sleep wasn't bad. It was kind of new agey. You know, it kind of reminded me of, I know this is going to sound crazy, but to me, it had the feel of like one of them Inception movies or something. I don't know. It just had a weird looking feel, but it wasn't too bad. I hate all those Paranormal Activity movies. Yeah, this one I'm talking about, Boston, this is a documentary. It's not a movie. They legit went out with Jason Kane Hodder and took him ghost hunting. What did you think of Ready or Not? I think that was a really good movie. That was an original idea that was pretty good that Hollywood produced. I mean, do you guys think slasher are going to come back? Do you think we're going to see more slashers? You think we're going to see more paranormal? You're going to see more aliens? What is it? If there was, what catches your attention? I mean, I like slashers. I like a good killing movie, but I don't like the cheesiness of them. A lot of it was in his mind, so that makes sense. Kids should see Begotten. Take a look at it. See, we need more clowns. There's some clowns out there. I mean, there's a lot of talented indie guys out there, but it just doesn't seem like there's much new that. And I know we've been on COVID and people hadn't been shooting a lot of stuff, but I mean, come on now. I wish that one Hellfest was better. There's two cameras messing. There we go. Yeah. Hellier, the documentary series, will give you goosebumps. Well, Daniel, if you think Hellier, the documentary series, will give you goosebumps, you will wait till you see Boston. Scott Monster Perry, what's up, Sarge? I'm late. Welcome, Scott. We need more good werewolf movies. I could agree. I could agree. I mean, a good werewolf movie. I'm trying to think when the last one of those that was horror that I saw. I like the ones with the Kate Beckinsale. She's pretty entertaining. Jimmy, I've been off Shudder a while. Anything good in it? No, not really. Shudder just hadn't. I mean, AMC owns Shudder, so they have big budget money, and they should be financing a bunch of good big time horror movies and helping build the horror genre. But Shudder, they got that AMC marketing money, but they ain't putting out no great products. Guinea Pig is all horror. I ain't seen that one. Vampire movies, not Twilight. I did see there was a vampire movie that one of the blogs got behind about the dude's wife. I think that was like a Dread Central thing where the preacher's wife became a vampire. And the best vampire movie that I've seen in a while was The Shed. That was actually a good independent movie, The Shed. The premise of that movie would be what happens if you had a shed in your backyard and a vampire took up in it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened to the new Candyman? They put a first-time director on it, and she's messed it up, and they can't figure out how to release it because it hasn't screened well to the preview audience that have got to shoot it. Because what Hollywood does is when they shoot a movie like Candyman, they'll take it out and show it to a test audience, the first good cut. When they showed Candyman to the first test audience, I knew some people that was in that audience, and word got back to me that it was horrible. Why the hell are they remaking The Exorcist? I could not agree with you more. That is one of the most perfect possession movies ever. And one of the things, let me go back to Conjuring 3. Conjuring 3, they tried to replicate that priest coming into the thing to do the exorcism shot that they did in The Exorcist. Excuse me. Don't do that. Don't. I know you probably want to pay homage to The Exorcist, but don't do that. You can't copy that good shot. They need to make the next installment of Human Centipede and call it The Circle of Life. I don't think they might let that guy make any more movies. The best Dracula is Bram Stoker's. I'm going to put Begotten on there. All they're going to do is add tons of CGI. I mean, the Evil Dead remake wasn't a bad one. I've had somebody comment on my thing about this, and I'm not, I get some hate mail from some friends out there in LA. I'm not anti-LA. I love the people of LA. I'm just not feeling like the studios are listening to us horror fans. When I say Hollywood, I don't mean the people who live in Hollywood. I mean these studios. They wheeling and dealing and doing this and doing that and trying, but they ain't trying hard enough to deliver quality product, And like I said, it's hard as it could be for these indie guys out there. I see a lot of them on there, trying to make the best horror movie they can make, with the lower budgets and limited crew and limited actors. Just rough on them. Scott says, I did like the Evil Dead reboot. It seemed like a lot of practical effects, yeah. Jimmy says, yep, he's still on here. Original horror movie idea, secret company that tests horror movie situations on people using ideas from popular horror movies. They did one like that. I think it's something similar to that. Fear Inc. That was okay. They turned Banana Splits into a horror movie. Says, I see Rob as Jewel Harlow got to be better than Witches of Salem. I mean, Rob's report card hadn't been too good lately. I mean, 3 from Hell didn't do it for me. Halloween 2 didn't do it for me. And Salem, Witches of Salem, I mean, a little too artsy-fartsy for me. So, I mean, it's just going to be interesting. But I don't want you guys, a year from now or whenever from now they drop the monsters out and he's got, Sherry Moon Zombie as Lily and, probably Richard Brake as Frankenstein. I mean, don't be surprised when he rednecks up the monsters. Never seen Ghost Ship. I've been telling him to watch it. Ghost Ship is good. That's a solid older horror movie. I still like House of a Thousand Corpses. House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects was some of my favorite horror movies of all time. But 3 from Hell fell short. I liked his redneck version of Halloween, but I just didn't like Halloween 2. I didn't like the horse and all the fun. Because when they made Halloween, when they said he's going to do Halloween 2, I said, finally, Sharon Moon Zombie's not going to be in it. Man, he still put her in there. Why do we like horror movies? Because I like watching people get killed and stuff. It's like a stress release. Are the monsters going to curse? I'm wondering, because I think they had to go to Universal's for the rights of the monsters. I'm not sure. I've heard it was Universal was the rights holder. And I'm wondering if they put any caveats in there telling him he can and can't do certain stuff. But it is what it is. It is gonna be what it is. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna hype it up, and then it's gonna come out, and it's probably not gonna do really well. The hardcore zombie people that like anything he does is gonna love it. People like us that like horror for what horror is, we're gonna probably not like it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong. I would love for Rob to come out with something hot, scare the bejeebus out of us, or interchange the bejeebus out of it. I would love to see a new movie made like Creepshow 1, 2, and 3 and Trick or Treat, the different news stories. I don't know why they never did a Trick or Treat 2. They talked about that for years and years and years. For as successful as that has become, I don't see why they haven't done more with that. Yeah, they're remaking every stuff. They Stephen King. I mean, they're done the Hannibal people remake that. So I don't know what's that going to look like. If Eli Roth could do a kids movie, I think Zombie will do good. Plus, he's a fan of the monsters. I hope he does good. I just don't want to see Sherry as Lily. I just don't see that. And I mean, I don't like Eli Roth, to be honest with you. He made Cabin Fever, which I really didn't like the original one. I miss Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, Tales from the Crypt. One of these days, they need to have a horror icon mega crossover. They can't. All the rights holders are too greedy. I mean, they can't even make another Friday the 13th right now because everybody's suing each other for the rights. Slashing and boobs. That was the formula in the 80s horror movie. Best creep show scene is Grandpa is back. Looking forward to the Hellraiser TV series on HBO. I'd love to see a good Hellraiser product come out. I mean, there really hadn't been anything great in there. Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. I wouldn't, to be honest, as much as I love them all, I don't want to see Freddy unless it's Robert Englund. I really would like to see them bring Kane Hodder back as Jason. And Ash, I mean, it is what it is, you know. What are the 3 go-to horror films you can watch anytime over and over? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I could watch that over and over and over and over. House of 1,000 Corpses. I really like that. Or The Devil's Rejects. And then my third pick for watching over and over and over and over and over again, I really like the original Friday the 13th. The original one's good. My favorite is The Monster. I mean, but hopefully something good comes out. So you guys didn't like Spiral, you didn't like Conjuring 3, so Hollywood's losing this go round. You know. I mean, $39 million is what they spent on that Conjuring 3. $39 million. And that's just what they told us they spent. They probably spent a bunch more. What about like Tales from the Hood and other different stories? Yeah, I mean, Tales from the Hood was pretty funny. Freddy and Michael and Candyman characters put them in a ring like WWE. Yeah, I did like 31. I think Richard Brake saved 31. If Richard hadn't acted in that lead role, you know, what pissed me off about 3 from Hell was when he was in there talking trash about clowns and he killed that clown. I don't care that he killed the clown, you know. Okay, Felissa Rose was added to the Arizona date. Yeah. The original Dawn of the Dead is my go-to horror. The only movie to ever scare me was Jaws. Do you consider it horror? I mean, I think it is. I mean, I think it was unique. It is scary. I mean, the idea of something like that come out the water and get you You need a bigger boat. It was weird watching it after COVID during the pandemic because it kind of felt like Jaws was a metaphor for the COVID thing, and everybody wanted to open back up, and the beach, one movie they wanted to open back up. It was different watching that. So did you by chance get to watch I See You? Different kind of horror, but it was great. Also, Hunter x Hunter has an in it. I'm gonna have to watch those. Definitely. See, I love those recommendations like that. My top 3 favorite horror movies: John Carpenter, The Thing, House of a Thousand Corpses, and Zombie. The uncut version of Day of the Dead. Now, what is y'all's go-to? What can you watch over and over and over again? What's your favorite movie? Favorite horror movie? I mean, I also like the original Evil Dead and the remake. Both of those were solid films. The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock, yep. I kind of like that Psycho TV show they did. That wasn't bad. That had the lady from The Conjuring in it. Sometimes these TV shows could be hit or miss, but it seems like when the TV shows are really good, then they don't do. The Exorcist, my first movie that scared me was the original Fog, yeah. The Exorcist, yep. The Exorcist is just Bates Motel, yep, that was the show. Candyman. And I was reading some people died like that in Candyman, I love to watch the old Twilight Zone episodes. My favorite is The Martian and the Diner. Terrifier, The Haunt, Heredity were all great new horror films, but it's few and far between. Heredity was too slow. Terrifier was a good comedy. The Haunt wasn't bad. I liked it. Silence of the Lambs, Maximum Overdrive, and The Thing. Mitchell's got good taste. Poltergeist, The Shining, and The Exorcist. The Howling. Original Psycho, that's what I'm talking about. I can't watch The Exorcist or number 2. I watched The Exorcist as a kid. It didn't scare me. It was exciting. Different strokes for different folks, man. Scared the bejesus out of me. Wonder what box set Scream Factory would give us this year. I ain't buying no more box sets from Scream Factory. What I'm going to do is take the money I'd buy box sets from Scream Factory from and buy original horror movies from independent people. Cronenberg films, some of the best. Cronenberg's good. Still like Texas Chainsaw 2, one of my favorites. It's solid. It was good. It was good comedy. The Old Tales from the Dark Side. The House is October built. I think they make a couple of those. The Changeling scared me when I was little. Changeling was. The Score from the Fog, yeah. Hell House LLC 1 and 2 are newer horror movies. That's good. They weren't bad. John Carpenter's The Thing. I think Hell House was found footage. Sitting out there somewhere playing on the internet or doing something, there's some young new director that's probably the next John Carpenter. Talented. It's like, when are we going to get him? I like Demons. The original Tourist Trap. I liked Motel Hell too. That's a good horror comedy. It's something. I'm glad we're gonna come back here next Sunday night and chat it up. So start marking it on your calendars and be sure you're following the page and keeping it up. July 4th weekend, I'm gonna be out in Phoenix, Arizona, partying it up at Mad Monster. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I mean, he does great. I think he has done great in the original Halloweens. Motel Hell was good. I heard good things about Bloody Summer Camp. I have to see because some I hadn't seen that one, so I ain't gonna comment on it. But guys, I'm gonna tune out here. I got some stuff we'll go work. Got some videos. If you haven't subscribed to the Mad Monster YouTube channel, be sure you subscribe to that. I'll be putting up some stuff on there. It's going to be a crazy rest of this year, and I hope you guys are ready for it. I appreciate everybody sitting out there watching. Come and talk horror with me, hang out with me. You never know who I'm going to have on here. We're going to be having fun. Hope everybody has a great night. You guys take care. If y'all watch anything good, come back next week and tell me about it. I'm going to try to find something good to watch tonight. Y'all take care, and I hope y'all have a great week. Stay motivated, stay positive, and watch more horror movies. You guys take care. Have a good one. Sergeant Horror for Mad Monster, and we're out.